Hey there, Wax here. Today we will be talking about 5 indie roguelike games that I own on the Switch and what I think about them. Darkest Dungeon is a game for those who don't already have a stressful enough life. In this terrifyingly difficult game, you will face all kinds of real-world risks such as heart attacks, hunger, and stress. The gameplay loop consists of a hub area where you can do all your upgrading, stress removal, stock up on items, and so much more. Once you leave the hub area, you can choose where to get killed next. Each run is basically just a maze of rooms and corridors you have to navigate through to accomplish whatever you were trying to accomplish. There's a lot of things you have to keep an eye on throughout your run. You will need to use torches anytime it starts to get dark. This helps with RNG and just overall makes the run easier, or is supposed to. You also have to eat food anytime your pupils start to get hungry. You can also stumble into traps if you aren't paying close enough attention. Traps are one of the things that can cause stress as well, so you definitely want to avoid as many as possible. This game also features permadeath, so don't get too attached to anyone. If you're a masochist that enjoys things like this, it also got a sequel, so you should go check that out as well. Enter the Gungeon is an extremely fun top-down twin-stick shooter. You have a handful of characters to choose from, each having their own perks. The hub world serves as a place to buy items, talk to NPCs, and choose your character. Like a lot of roguelikes, this one also features randomly generated levels on every run. Each run is guaranteed to have 2 chests and a shop, along with a standing at a box. This one can definitely be scary and overwhelming at first, but once you learn all the enemy patterns, you will feel incredible when you're dodging through and murdering all the bullets on the roll through each level. If you want to see something awesome, you should shoot like a maniac whenever you get to a shopkeeper. He's a big fan of stuff like that. Other than learning patterns, RNG can make or break each one. Certain guns feel extremely overpowered at times, and if you're lucky enough to get them, you will have a much better chance of getting through the entire game. For the King is a great game for any D&D fans out there. It is basically a tabletop turn-based RPG game that you can play with up to 3 people. This one was very addicting at first since you collect lore through each run, which is used to buy things. With the lore you can buy additional characters and items, including entirely new board pieces that have a chance of showing up on a new run. This makes all the runs feel unique for the most part. It also has multiple different modes you can play through. Some more difficult than others, and some just being endless dungeons or enemy fights mostly. Each mode is basically its own different D&D campaign. They all will have different missions to complete and really helps give this game a lot of diversity. The mechanics in this game are simple to understand but nearly impossible to master. Each character has a limited amount of focus you can use to increase your RNG for things like attacking and fleeing or sneaking past enemies. Focus can be used for all kinds of great things, but it is very limited. You can buy items to refill focus and health at every town, but money is limited as well, so spend wisely. It also has different styles of attacks such as physical, magical range, and more. Enemies always have a chance of having a shield that can block either magic or physical attacks. You can tell by the color of the shield bar. Once you get a grasp of how the game works, I guarantee it will be nearly impossible to put down after this. Hades is a great game for anyone who loves to break stuff. No, I don't mean this game is so frustrating it will make you want to break real things. The game developer planned ahead by making almost everything in the game breakable. I get distracted every run by breaking everything in sight and almost always forget to attack the actual enemies in the level. If you actually remember to fight the enemies, then you might actually have a chance to break out of the hell. The hub world is a place where you can talk to all kinds of NPCs and purchase items and upgrades of all kinds. You can also choose which weapon to take with you into the next run, since there is always a weapon with an extra perk if you need it. And then, the best for last is Dead Cells. It's one of the best roguelikes ever made. This is basically a randomly generated Castlevania-ish type of game. Thankfully, I'm not the only one who thought that, since Konami actually allowed the developer to add a Castlevania-themed DLC later on, which has some of the best enemies and levels in the game now, especially for any old-school Castlevania fan. The controls and overall movement are incredibly smooth and flawless. This is just one of those games that feels good to play. It features 3 different color-coded weapon types, red being for swords and other physical attacking weapons, purple is for all your ranged weapons, and green will be for all shields and other defensive related things. You can also have 2 sub-weapons equipped as well, which can be incredibly useful. The OST in this game is fantastic, especially with the remixed Castlevania style tracks. The little bit of dialogue in this game has some humorous moments and even a little bit of a story for anyone willing to pay attention to it. This game features 6 difficulties, and I am extremely proud to say I have beaten 5 of those completely, and will keep trying until I beat the final one as well. If anyone has not played this masterpiece, go do so as soon as possible. And until next time, have a great day!